said Michael Corleone did this. They said Michael Corleone did that. And I was like, yeah, sure.
In a 3, 2, 1, we are back and welcome to the Pon Pod. It's been a long time. How you been? Good to hear. It's cold, it's dark, it's wet, but we are here for you, our audience. Please subscribe, please like, please leave a comment if you like. Now, listen. I have never seen you this serious about an episode. Yeah. You have given this one a lot of thought. Yeah. Because it's quite controversial. Tell them what it is.
It's academic, yeah. Okay, so for many years, one of my favorite films has in fact been a thorn in my academic, intellectual, cinephile mind. Okay?
A thorn in the mind.
It's been...
Not a thorn in the side, but a thorn in the mind.
A thorn in my mind, okay? And I'm referencing specifically what many people consider to be the greatest sequel of all time, the greatest gangster film of all time, and to many observers, the greatest film of all time. That is...
The Godfather Part II.
That's exactly right. Now, I must, as a pretext, I must say that I do love this movie. Okay. Right? And I consider it a masterpiece in many ways, okay?
So why is it a thorn in your mind?
A thorn in my mind because I think for a movie that is so revered and is so lauded by everyone.
Pretty much.
Right?
Pretty much.
Critics and audiences alike.
Yes.
And it's endured over time amongst contemporary, academics and...
critics.
And yes, exactly, and audiences. That it is so plot hole heavy. So many things
unexplained.
Yes, so many things need to be scrutinized.
A lot of unexplained. Loose ends.
Many loose ends. And for me, what is frustrating is there are far too many loose ends.
Yeah.
That I don't think it can actually qualify as being the greatest film of all time. And I actually would have to deduct it points. Okay.
Deductions.
Even as the greatest gangster film of all time.
You're really going a bit too far there. This is more of a thorn in your butt than in
because
your
you think the greatest movie of all time is
obviously Ernest Goes to Jail.
I thought exactly what I was going to say.
Okay, so listen. So let's get into these loose ends, these like unexplained situations, and these plot holes,
and this unresolved trauma that I'm experiencing.
Of course. So this basically what you're saying is Godfather Part 2 is like Swiss cheese. Holes all over the place.
Yes, that's right.
All right.
Right.
Hello. All right, why don't you get into it
So from the outset...
Where's that light come from? Anyway.
From the outset, and I'm actually just focusing on the Michael Corleone arc of the movie.
Okay. Not the Robert De Niro.
Not the Robert De Niro.
Because that all makes sense.
That's quite linear and it makes sense and it's quite explainable.
Sure.
I'm talking about the Michael Corleone arc.
And what is his story within this film?
So this is essentially on a macro level a descent of one man, his descent into hell.
Right.
As this the head of the biggest crime family in America.
Yeah.
Becoming more and more paranoid, isolated, ruthless,
because they
and
try
pure
to kill
evil.
him.
Yeah.
Because they try to kill him. So the whole Michael Corleone part is about him trying to figure out who the hell killed him.
Exactly. So in
tried to kill him.
In the opening sequence, which takes place in his Lake Tahoe estate, an assassination attempt fails. Okay, somebody has opened the drapes. That's a key element, by the way. Yeah. Who opened the drapes? A plot hole that endures throughout. Okay, that runs like a current throughout the movie. That's never explained.
Now listen, our audience is definitely very familiar with The Godfather Part 2.
Yes.
So let's just go through these issues that you have.
What we know for everyone who's watched the movie is that Hyman Roth, the antagonist of the film, played by Lee Strasberg, the great, acting coach, is the man behind the assassination. Right. So let's just get that out of the way. All right. Now his motivations have always been vague to me, and considering that the entire purpose of the film is for Michael to definitively find out who tried to kill him and why this assassination attempt eventually kind of strips him of all his humanity, this needs to be more robust. Hyman Roth at one point tries to intimate that he's aggrieved by the murder of Mo Green, which took place in the first film. Mo Green is the man who basically built Las Vegas.
Yes.
And,
Keep going,
and,
1 second. Keep
and,
going.
and Roth and Mo Green are I guess metaphors for, you know, the Mayor Lansky's
Sure.
and the Bugsy Siegels who built Las Vegas
Yeah.
during that era. All right.
Yeah.
And so at one point in the film, I think in the midpoint of the film, when they're kind of convening in Cuba, another big kind of undisclosed plot hole and plot point that
we'll come back
need
to that.
need to poke. The hit on Frank Pentangeli, which takes place about half an hour before, is brought up by Michael. He quizzes Hyman Roth about who killed Frank Pentangeli. I know I didn't do it. Hyman Roth answers by saying, and this is an important message in the film because there's lots and lots of kind of macro messages that the Godfather 2 and the whole Godfather series espouses, right? I never asked who gave the order because it had nothing to do with business. And he references Mo Green being killed, and Mo Green was like a brother to him, and that Hyman Roth did not seek revenge, even though he knew Michael Corleone killed Mo Green. Why? Because it had nothing to do with business. You're supposed to take away from that the audience is supposed to take away from that okay, Hyman Roth is laying out to Michael Corleone that I could have killed you over the Mo Green murder, right? But I didn't, and I let it pass because it had nothing to do with business, and so therefore you should let the Frank Pentangeli assassination attempt. At that point they think Pentangeli's been killed, but he's actually alive under government protection. Okay, so if you're watching this through the audience's lens and their prism, you accept that Hyman Roth didn't want to kill Michael Corleone because of Mo Green.
Makes sense.
And yet at no point thereafter is it explained why Hyman Roth hates, loathes, wants to bring down the Corleone empire. At no point.
You know, this always confused me when I was watching.
Okay, go on, tell me, yeah.
No, it's just like, am I missing something? Am I not getting it? Am I too dumb to understand this film?
Right.
Because of these very points you're making.
Okay, so you're like, okay. Also, in Cuba, where they're trying to broker this deal, and Michael Corleone is supposed to bring him $2 million in cash to invest in Cuba, it's never explained also where that money's going, which is an easy thing for Coppola to have explained.
Yeah.
But it should be explained if you're making the greatest movie of all time, right? I mean, logically speaking, okay? And it's never explained, which always kind of bothered me a little bit. Once the Cuban Revolution takes place and the Castro rebels take over Havana, Hyman Roth now is suddenly on the run.
Yeah.
Another point I never understood. Hyman Roth, in the beginning of the film, when Michael visits him in Miami, is a U.S. citizen who's controlling the rackets in Havana. Fine. I can understand to some extent, once the communist insurgency takes place in Cuba, that many of his business interests in the casinos and hotels will get repossessed, and he might be short of $1 or $2. But why is he now on the run from the American authorities? It's not made clear. Why is Hyman Roth now not allowed back into the U.S.?
Absolutely. Why are we?
I mean, it just ultimately, if in fact Hyman Roth had been a Castro sympathizer, it would have made sense. Yeah. But this man was doing America's bidding on behalf of the Batista regime. Surely he's an ally. He's an anti-communist ally. He's all of a sudden on the run.
Good point.
Doesn't make sense.
Good point.
At the same point as this is happening, the Senate hearings against Michael Corleone come to a head.
Right.
Now, just for context, earlier in the film, Frank Pentangeli is...
they try to kill him.
They try and kill him, right? And it's Roth's men who try and kill him. They fail.
Yes.
And they fail because a policeman walks into the bar where the assassination attempt is taking place. The assassin, before he tries to kill him, says Michael Corleone says hello, presumably as a kind of trying to twist the
Diversion,
knife in,
yeah.
making him believe that his,
Exactly.
you know, one of his family betrayed him and tried to kill him, and so on. Frank Pentangeli, understandably, believes now Michael tried to kill him. When the police pick Pentangeli up, it is explained by Tom Hagen, the Duval character, that he's still alive and that the police picked him up. He was already facing racketeering, murder one, bookmaking charges. So he was already a target for prosecution. And the grand jury is assembled. This is after Roth is on the run and the Cuba deal implodes. Pentangeli, who was Roth's nemesis, is the key witness who is going to testify and bring Michael Corleone down, having received orders directly as his capo regime to kill people.
Right.
How has Roth managed to assemble this Senate committee to take down Michael Corleone in such a short space of time? Doesn't make sense. And also, your intention was to kill Pentangeli. It failed. How are you able to set up this grand jury on Michael within 3 to 4 months, especially now that you're a U.S. exile, you're trying to seek refuge in, they say, in Israel and Buenos Aires, and he can't land anywhere? That also always bothered me, right? Furthermore, Pat Geary, Senator Pat Geary.
Geary, that son of a... Go on.
Yes. He's supposed to be a metaphor for mafia leverage, because in the opening sequence, he tries to shake down, he's a senator, a high-ranking senator. He tries to shake down Michael.
Right.
And for a casino license. And Michael tells him, I will offer you nothing. You should extend this to me as a courtesy for who I am, and so on. So Geary is kind of like, this kind of slimy, disingenuous snake.
Yes.
Later on in the film, they frame him, have this prostitute killed.
Yes.
And it's a setup, right? And it's presented as them essentially saving him from a humiliation. Okay, I like it. This is mafia leverage on a politician. At the Senate hearings, Geary is in attendance. And I'm thinking to myself, and I've watched it many times, thinking to myself, okay, this is where Geary opposes the committee's decision to take down Michael, which would make sense.
Yes.
That would make complete sense.
Yes.
And that would speak to mafia leverage and superseding
So
government
everything
control.
he does would be in favor of the Corleone.
Yes, exactly, because they've saved him, even though they set him up, but they've kind of, Instead, he gets up and he gives this almost like sermon, this soliloquy on
Italian
Americans, and then recuses himself from the proceedings thereafter.
So
what was the point?
What was the point
in the Pat Geary character?
No point.
I mean, it's just so frustrating. And again, why wouldn't Coppola? I mean, he could have Geary sort of stand in favor or stand against the prosecution. So that always bothered me. Also, when Pentangeli comes to testify against Michael,
Yes.
Again, it always bothered me when
How about a quick impersonation?
they said Michael Corleone did this, they said Michael Corleone did that, and I was like, yeah, sure, I live in an army barracks with the government guys. You're sitting up here in the Sierra Mountains and you're drinking, what are you drinking? Champagne cocktails. I want the Rosado brothers dead. No, mort.
Right,
I love Gazzo. Oscar nominated for that role. A great character, by the way.
Absolutely.
And amazing, by the way, in Cannonball Run Part 2. A great performance, by the way. Okay.
Better film than Godfather Part II.
Yeah, but
I mean,
actually, at the end of this episode, it might be.
Hey.
So, anyway, so he's coming to testify, and also it always bothered me how Tom Hagen says to Michael Corleone before Pentangeli is about to be summoned to testify, Roth played this one beautifully. Again, that doesn't kind of make
Chime correctly.
sense. It's
Yeah.
not logical.
Yeah.
Pentangeli, as a high-ranking capo in Michael's organization, who took over from Clemenza, so he's like a big shot, all right? Surely knows that his family is compromised if he testifies against the head of the biggest crime family in the world, right? Now, this scene that I'm about to bring up is a very powerful scene. It's a very famous scene. It's a very visually impactful scene. Michael's almost unspoken and successful attempt to foil the government's case against him is to turn up the next day with Pentangeli's brother, who he brought over from Sicily.
Yes.
Pentangeli's, who just makes eye contact with him.
Cute baby, by the way, the brother.
Great and great. One of those
Beret.
Beret. Yeah. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Vincenzo Pentangeli. Upon seeing him in attendance, right?
I mean, he's definitely got a gondola.
For sure.
Go on.
Upon seeing him in attendance, he all of a sudden retracts, right, his testimony, and claims he made it all up, because the government put pressure on him, and he said, Michael Corleone did this, Michael Corleone did that. Surely Frank Pentangeli, an esteemed member of the Corleone family, would already have known that Michael would whack out his own family. In fact, later in the film, when Pentangeli takes his own life, because Tom Hagen goes to see him, and he talks about how when plots against the Roman Empire failed, the plotters were always given an opportunity to redeem themselves by slitting their wrists, which would save their family shame and indignity. So he already knew this. So it makes no sense that he would have been emboldened to testify against Michael at the Senate hearings. I just, again, it's not is it a plot hole? I don't know if it's a plot hole, but it's just,
that's not logical.
It doesn't sort of, okay? Furthermore, all right, I've got other kind of nitpicks.
No, please.
No, I've got another nitpicks.
Okay, we get it.
No, this is very
hate
important.
this film.
I love this film. That's why I'm so frustrated. At the end, Hyman Roth has to go down. Right. I completely understand. He's on the run, and they have this summit meeting at his Lake. Michael has a summit meeting at his Lake Tahoe estate with his most trusted advisors, Hagen, Neri, and Rocco, right? And they discuss how we're going to get to him. Now, an important scene, because it sort of speaks to Michael at this point having to avenge every single person that has double-crossed him. So even though Tom says to him, look, he's going to be dead in 6 months, he's broke, he's on the run, Michael still has to be the one to take revenge. Fine, I completely understand the motivation. I completely understand what's brought him to this point. Rocco turns around to him, one of his trusted enforcers, and says, difficult but not impossible. Tom Hagen says it's more difficult to kill him than the president. This should set the stage for an incredible, clever assassination attempt, considering Hyman Roth is the chief antagonist in the greatest film of all time. Right? So he deserves like a classic death. Rocco turns up at the airport when Roth is being questioned by authorities and reporters. Rocco is one of Michael's most trusted foot soldiers, has not betrayed him, turns up, shoots him point blank, tries to run away, and gets gunned down by like 5 airport policemen. What was the escape plan? Why would Rocco sacrifice his life to kill Hyman Roth in the airport when he's been so loyal to him? And he also killed Tattaglia in the first film. I mean, by the way, great fucking honor roll for Rocco. 2 great assassinations, by the way. That's like he's on the Mount Rushmore of assassins.
Yeah.
But it always bothered me. Why would Rocco do this? If, for example, Rocco had betrayed Michael and Michael said, this is what you have to do to earn your penance, you have to kill Roth and sacrifice yourself, I completely understand. Rocco is his like this with him. Neri and Rocco are like the most trusted enforcers. Is that a plot hole? Not really, but the motivation doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me.
There's no consistency.
And I don't.
There's no consistency in character.
And I don't feel that in the first film, for example, that there were as many issues with character motivation. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, on the subject of Fredo, right? And you know, the Fredo arc is one of the most powerful and enduring and
stand out.
And you know.
All right, go on.
We accept that Fredo didn't do anything malevolently, didn't do anything maliciously. We accept also that Fredo didn't open the drapes.
No.
No one actually understands at any point in the movie what information Fredo gave to Johnny Ola.
We don't know.
At any point.
At any point.
And why that information would have compromised Michael either. Nobody understands this at any point. This is the central point of the movie. Fredo's betrayal.
Yeah.
The thing that actually turns Michael into the most evil man in movie history. And yet Fredo is presented, in fact when they have their showdown, as having not known anything, having been kept in the dark, certainly not having been motivated to kill Michael. This is understood and accepted, I think, even by Michael. So please tell us, what is it exactly that Fredo divulged? What did Fredo volunteer?
Yes.
What did he do? Even inadvertently.
Exactly.
Never explained.
Never.
So and so therefore, even Michael's killing of his brother, which is one of the most momentous moments in the history of film, feels a bit
lightweight.
A little bit.
Yeah, like it's not concrete.
It's not concrete. In other words, Michael's motivation is not fully justified.
No, absolutely. I agree with you.
Right?
There. Yes.
And incidentally, like I said, I mean, it's a magnificent film and it's an opulent film. Well, go on. After what I said.
Worst film ever.
You think so?
I mean, come on.
Like, I also
many like what? That's enough now.
Okay, fine.
I mean,
give me your final thoughts.
No. I mean, you're right. Listen, I've always said it doesn't make a lot of sense, but you know, the real question is why do people? Because they're quite obvious. These loose ends.
Okay.
And these plot holes.
Yeah.
So why do people overlook them? Are they just putting 2 and 2 together and coming out with 6?
I'll tell you why. I think because the micro plot of this movie is vastly overshadowed by the macro themes, which are themes of isolation, revenge, the descent into true evil, and so therefore people don't necessarily think that the plot holes matter as much.
Yes, and the performances,
of course, and the music and the art direction and the entire kind of scope of the movie, right?
They overpower.
And I will also say,
and they kind of band-aid over these little
my frustration is that all of the things that I've kind of nitpicked are not insurmountable plot holes that
Coppola,
he could have fixed them.
Yeah.
He could have fixed them quite easily.
Now maybe there's something we're not getting.
For example, let me give you an example. If it had been disclosed that Fredo had given Johnny Ola the plans of the house,
of course,
I understand.
Fine.
Explain it.
Yes.
If Hyman Roth's motivation for killing Michael was indeed Mo Green, then explain it more
openly.
Yes,
obviously.
Exactly, or more conscientiously.
Yeah.
If you want, have Pat Geary testify or testify in favor of Michael Corleone, to provide a metaphor for mafia leverage over government officials. Great. But instead, these things kind of gnaw at me. Have always
Wishy-washy.
gnaw.
Very wishy-washy.
Do you agree?
No, I agree. And listen, this is something over to you, audience.
Yes.
You guys have seen the film, I'm sure. What do you think about what this guy says? I mean, I'm sort of on his side. There's a lot that doesn't make sense. A lot that doesn't add up. A lot that's like based on like, okay, so you're assuming this? Do we have to assume that?
Yeah.
We need to know.
My final point on this is, in doing my research, because I went to the message boards,
Right.
all right, and I wanted to understand,
Yes.
because this movie has enthusiasts by the millions.
Yes, go on.
I don't like the cop-out answer, which is that, oh, you have to read between the lines. You have to understand. It's implied. Actually, it's not implied.
No.
It's not implied. I actually think Coppola made some mistakes, which is okay. And I think that, but this warrants and justifies scrutiny just because this movie is so important and so revered and so beloved and is, like we said, considered the best sequel of all time, the best gangster film of all time, maybe the best movie of all time.
Listen, as I said at the beginning, you don't get this shit with
Ernest Goes to Jail.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you. Or even Ernest Goes to Camp.
Yeah, or Ernest
Even
Goes
in that.
Stupid, yeah.
Exactly.
Incidentally, when we've given Jim Varney so much attention on this podcast, when are we going to do...
I don't think we're ready.
You don't think so?
No. We're beneath that. We're not there yet.
Okay.
We need to earn our scars.
Do you remember the Ernest expression? This.
No. And on that note, please subscribe. Please comment. Let us know what you think. And the light's back on.
Yeah.
And to that I say, what do I say?
My heart's bigger than oak.
Sure.